Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a new week. It's Monday, 9 o'clock on the dot. Hope you all had a really nice weekend. I've had a really great start to my week. I've just opened up my email and I've been sent this incredible email from a woman who picked up my book, this book, From Living Hell to Living Well. And she bought it from one of the local shops that stock our book, and she said that she read it over the weekend and she just loved what she was hearing so much that she had to email me and say thank you for writing it, and that so much of it resonated with her. And she's invited Steve and I over for a herbal tea or a smoothie or something sometime to meet her and her husband. So emails like that, they do come in every now and then, and they just really make my day, and it just makes everything that we do feel worthwhile to know that people are resonating with what we're doing with our coaching and what we're putting out there with our books. So a really great way to start the week. Good morning, Hannah. Nice to see you. Morning, Simon. Thanks for tuning in. So today I'm talking about writing a letter to your future self. And this is a topic that really excites me. It's something that I do and I find a lot of value in it. And one of the reasons that I'm talking about this today is at the moment, Steve and I are putting a lot of attention into developing our 12-month mentorship. We see our business heading largely in this direction where we can support people over a long period of time. So we're putting a lot of focus and energy into developing this program and making it so good with so much value. And so writing a letter to your future self, sorry, I've got a very itchy nose. Writing a letter to your future self is all about this fits into the 12-month mentorship, because the 12-month mentorship is about helping you get to your future self when it comes to your health and well-being. So a letter to your future self, there's two main reasons for this. The first one is to manifest, to manifest what you want, okay? It's about manifesting what you want to achieve. The second one is when you're writing a letter to your future self, you're actually becoming familiar with that person. And this is all about visualization. And we know how powerful visualization is. So it's about getting your brain familiar with the person that you want to become. And we're talking about, it can be anything in your life really, but as always, our focus is health and well-being. So it's about getting to that person that you want to be in terms of your health and well-being, visualizing that person, and writing a letter to that person. So 3 years ago, I wrote a letter to my future self, and it is here, okay? It says, to Heidi, open on the 24th of February, 2023, which happens to be my 45th birthday. So it's sealed. I wrote it 3 years ago. So by the time I open it, it will be 3.5 years old or so. Now, the purpose of this letter, and to be honest, I can't even really remember what's in there. But what I do know is that I have surpassed everything I wrote in that letter. So what I do know from memory is that I wrote in there about wanting to be well. So and when you write to your future self, it's about telling yourself how things are when you open that letter. So I wrote things like, you are really fit and healthy, you're feeling really good, you're working in the field of plant-based nutrition, you are helping other people transform their health and their lives. Because back 3 years ago, I was still really unwell. I wasn't doing anything that I'm doing now. I was sleeping on the couch in the sunroom pretty much every day, wallowing in my misery. That's what I was doing 3 years ago. So I knew that I wanted to put myself into, or imagine myself 3 years down the track, or 3.5 years down the track at that point, And it was about me manifesting that. It was about me finding a way to make that happen, because I didn't want to wake up on my 45th birthday and open that letter and still be sleeping on the couch in the sunroom. I knew I didn't want that. So I wrote in there about all the things that I wanted to do. And I know that I have surpassed that by miles and miles and miles. I had nothing in there about writing 2 books in the space of a year, or writing for global and domestic publications, or getting up on stage and speaking to people. That wasn't even, I could never have even imagined that all those things were about to happen for me, and they've happened. So my lesson in that whole thing about writing a letter to your future self about how you want to be when you open that letter is that I actually need to think bigger. So when I open this letter on the 24th of February next year, when I turn 45, I am going to write myself another one. And I'm going to do it so that I open it when I turn 50, which is far too close for my liking, but that's a whole other subject. And so what I've decided is that when I write my next one, which will be to my future self 5 years down the track, is that I'm going to think bigger. I'm going to think on a grander scale about what I can achieve, because I know that what's written in this letter that I wrote 3 years ago that I haven't opened yet, I have surpassed this by miles. So, the whole idea here is it's not, and this is the key thing, it's not really about achieving the goals that you write in your letter. Yes, that's the optimal, in an ideal world. Yes, you want to achieve those things that you write in that letter to your future self, whatever they are. But the key thing is, it's not really about those goals. It's about the person you become when you're striving for those goals. It's about the person that you have to become to achieve them. Even if you don't quite get there, that's not a problem. It's about the person that you're becoming in your pursuit of those goals. And this is something that really resonated with me when I wrote my first book. My mentor that I was working with in Australia, an amazing woman named Natasha, she would always say, it's not about the book, it's about the person you become when you write the book. Which to me is so, so true. Yes, the book is amazing and it's great to have a book in your hands and be able to sell it at the end. But it's more about the person that you become and that you have to become to be able to get that book out there in the world. Sorry, Simon, are you going to write yourself a letter? Do it. It's a great idea. Just reading your comment there. Thanks, I will do. Awesome. Okay, so I would recommend that you write yourself, your future self, a letter about whatever is important to you, whatever you're striving for in your life, whether it's health or something else that you might be striving towards. And in doing so, you will set yourself a long-term goal, and you will need to align your short-term actions with that long-term goal. If you want to hear about that, go back to my video that I recorded last week, and that's all about aligning short-term actions with long-term goals. So the key thing here is that what you're doing is you're visualizing how you want your future self to be. You're putting it in a letter and you are sealing it. You're putting it away for however long, and the time frame doesn't really matter. I would recommend at least 12 months, because 12 months gives you enough time to, really make some significant changes. But I would go further than that. If you're someone who can't imagine going further than that, then just stick with 12 months. That's fine. But my recommendation would be 2, 3, or even 5 years. You might want to start with 2 or 3 years, and then when you get to that one and you open it and you see that you've gone way past what you even thought you could do because of the power of your brain, and then you might do something for a little bit longer, maybe a 5-year one. So for example, in your letter to your future self, let's say that we're focused on health and well-being here. You might say, okay, here I am and I'm 10 kilos lighter than what I was 3 years ago when I was writing this letter. It could be more than 10 kilos. I've gotten over my addiction to junk food. I've gotten over my addiction to alcohol. I no longer am ruled by those things in my life. I don't have an autoimmune condition anymore. My body has healed itself because I've made really good choices in my life to get me to that point. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm the fittest I've ever been. I'm not living with pain anymore. I've managed to overcome that chronic pain and inflammation in my body that I lived with for so long. I'm a picture of health and vitality. So you get the idea, okay? This is about visualizing yourself, how you want to be, writing it down and writing it as if you've already achieved it. So that when you open your letter in the future to your future self, you are reading it in the present tense, okay? I'm free of pain. I'm free of my alcohol addiction. I'm 10 or 15 kilos lighter. That's the idea. You want to write it in the present tense. So as I said, time frame, not really hugely important. Make it at least 12 months. And, you know, I've found that this is just such a powerful tool to have, to be able to do this. I think we tend to underestimate how much we can actually achieve in our lives. It's because our brain is programmed to, you know, find limitations and we've got a lot of sort of limiting beliefs and limiting ways of doing things. This is about training your brain to think bigger and know that you can achieve bigger things, bigger goals. Even if you've got something that you would really like to do in your life and your brain is telling you that you can't, and it's finding reasons why you can't, if you're telling yourself those things, your brain is going to make sure that it finds evidence to prove that true. So why not think about the things that you can do and the ways that you can make these things happen? And then when you tell yourself those things, your brain will look for evidence that it can do those things. That's just how the brain works. If you're going to live with limiting beliefs and limiting thoughts, then that's what you're going to get. That's how your life is going to be expressed. If you want to achieve other things, you want to get better, you want to be healthy, you've got to start training your brain to get you to that point. And that's where the letter to your future self is so, so important. So once again, I know I keep talking about this, but the 12-month mentorship is your tool. It's one of your tools to getting you to your future self. And that's what it's all about. It's about us mentoring you through a full 12 months to get you from where you are now to where you want to be in 12 months time. 12 months is a great period of time. It's not so far off in the distance that you can't picture yourself there, but it's long enough to make some significant changes. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to post the link to our 12-month mentorship page where you can read all about it. There's a little video on there. You can read all about what's included. And that's something that we're going to be, we're actually going to be adding to that every month. So every month there's going to be new content, new themes, new things for you to look at and study. And then they are all going to become part of that mentorship. So it's basically like a hub. It's basically a hub of all the information that Steve and I have developed over 20 years, all our intellectual property, and that's us sharing it with the members. So if you want to know more about the mentorship, I will post the link. If you're going to write a letter to your future self, please let me know. I'd love to know. Simon, I know that you're going to, because you just told me that you're going to. Who else on here is going to write a letter to their future self? Hannah? I think that would be a very, very good idea. And I know some of the things that you can write in your letter for your future self, because we've just been having that discussion over Facebook Messenger this morning. Lynn, will you write a letter to your future self? I can't see if anyone else is watching right now. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you found that valuable. If you've got any questions, fire them through. Any questions around the mentorship, watch out for the comments. In the comments, I'm going to post that link for the mentorship. Otherwise, have a great day, everyone. The sun is shining here. I'm going to go out for a walk, and then I've got clients later this morning, and yeah, going to get stuck into some more work. So yeah, have a great day, everyone. We'll catch you same place, same time next week. Bye.